grand opening of our expansion of the Midwest Field Technology Station. I'm Brent Philbrook, as Tim mentioned, and I am the Director of Agronomic Development for Bayer Crop Science. In our, what we call product development, which is responsible primarily for bringing crop protection products to growers across the U.S. We've had a research station committed to this area in Champaign County since the late 70s. And we've always enjoyed the privilege and a good relationship with the University of Illinois and agribusinesses in the area. We also appreciate and value our neighbors and our friends in the area. They've always been gracious and helpful and work well with us as we conduct our research efforts to bring new and novel products to the market and the growers in the U.S. In 1995, the land for this current station was purchased, and at that time it had a single red pole barn on it. You might catch a glimpse of it on the property with the older buildings. We use it still for machinery storage. At that time, they poured a little concrete in the corner and put some desks in there and prepared for building the first buildings on the site for the function of R&D purposes with both crop protection products and trait development. And in 1996, the station facilities were erected as we conducted research on this site. I want to acknowledge the presence of Dr. John McGregor here today. John, raise your hand. There he is in the back. John actually had the responsibility for finding this land in 1995 and was set up in the corner of that pole barn as the facilities were erected. So John still works in our department with the company. He currently is in Research Triangle Park, North Carolina. But we're glad to see him here and see the next step in the expansion of our facilities here today. Over the intervening years, our crop protection has always conducted research and development on this site. But today, we're celebrating the cross-functional activities, including soybean breeding and trait development. I'm very proud to be a part of this expansion, and I'm very proud of my company, Bayer Crop Science, for choosing to make the investment when they decided to expand this course of their research and development and delivering new novel materials to growers. And I'm proud they chose to make that investment here in Champaign County. This will give us an opportunity to bring a broader selection of genetics to soybean growers, as well as staying on the forefront of finding useful traits that we can later introduce to growers to make their cropping more efficient and more targeted for an expanding world population. And these functions will work in concert with our ongoing R&D efforts in crop protection at the Midwest Field Technology Station. Crop protection, soybean breeding, and corn and soybean trait development will work in concert from this station at a common set of facilities. And right here in the heartland of America, in the center of broadacre cropping in the U.S. I'd like to take a moment now just to acknowledge our staff members who had to have some tolerance and some flexibility during the construction of this site and get their daily functions done as all of this construction was going on. So thank you, staff, for your efforts and your contribution. And along with Dr. Tim Prusky, the soybean breeder, I want to draw special attention to two of our staff members. First, Nathan Karplus, who's the assistant soybean breeder. Nathan, raise your hand. He's back in the corner, who made a great contribution for bringing these soybean breeding facilities online and ready to function in the manner in which they were intended. And also my site superintendent, who's in charge of the facilities, Tom Bass. Is Tom in here? Not at the moment. He's out actually still busy. But Tom was our on-site representative, and he made sure the day-to-day interests of Bayer and certainly this facility were represented and troubleshot any problems that arose during the construction. This essentially doubled his responsibilities over the past year. So I will say he grew as a station superintendent through this experience. So I really want to thank them. They put extra effort in and deserve the acknowledgement. So well done, staff, and well done, Nathan and Tom. So with that, I welcome you all here to help us celebrate the grand opening of this expansion. And I really look forward to using these new facilities and the opportunity to bring farmers the next step in Bayer offering of their technology that they use in their day-to-day activities. So with that, I'd like to introduce the next speaker, Gary Henniger. He's in charge of trait development and field operations implementation in the U.S. He's joining us today from Lubbock. And he can, of course, straighten you out on anything that I messed up with his introduction. But he'll give a few comments to you here today on behalf of trait development.
Thank you, Brent. As Brent mentioned, I am the trait field trial operation manager for Bayer in the U.S. and get to see the field trial work within the traits that we're researching and bringing forward into the market. I'd like to reemphasize what Brent mentioned earlier as well, is that the Midwest Field Technology Station here is essential, delivering on Bayer's goals to elevate the chemistry, the traits, and the soybean varieties available to help farmers harvest high yields and reap greater profits. That effort explodes with the soybean breeding and trait development expansion here at this site. This is where the tremendous technological and innovative power of Bayer will funnel into the breeding program specifically designed to drive Midwest soybean production to even higher levels through credenza varieties. Growers might not know the importance of the work that goes on here, but they see the results in on-farm performance. The behind-the-scenes work that Bayer does through its research and trait development programs at facilities such as this one is what drives this performance. When growers need varieties with characteristics to withstand disease and traits that allow for in-season weed control, Bayer delivered credenza varieties with the Liberty Link trait. Today, the high efficacy of Liberty, the proven crop safety when glufosinate is used on Liberty Link soybeans, and the high yield potential of credenza varieties under varied conditions is endemic to soybean production. We like to call that our smart genetics because our customers are smart and wise growers who produce high yielding crops and maximize their profit potential. What we do here will drive those genetics and traits to even higher levels. Growers will then manage those varieties for peak performance, and those on-farm yields, quality, and profit markers for them will be our report card. As we all know and we recognize in Bayer that when growers win, we all benefit. With that, I'd like to introduce Mark Hubler, our soybean product manager.
Thank you, Gary. It's good to be here. Good morning, everyone. And thanks again for joining us here today in the celebration of our opening of our new breeding and trait development station. As Gary mentioned, I am the soybean seed product manager with specific responsibility for the credenza brand in the U.S. It's been a very exciting time to be part of the soybean business, and it's been quite a ride the last couple of years with the brand. At events like this, it's really certainly easy to really reflect on how far our industry has come simply by remembering that farming is local. My family, like so many others, are preparing to plant the 2017 crop, and without a research station somewhere providing that opportunity to develop leading soybean genetics, I'm not sure if we'd still have a profitable family farm. Improved genetics is really essential not only for farmers, but also to serve the global needs for food, fuel, fiber, and renewable resources. And the opening of this station is an example of the impact that Bayer can and will have in their partnership with farmers as we work together to feed and clothe the world. Now, this isn't to say without soybean breeding efforts, farmers wouldn't exist, or that without farmers, soybean breeding wouldn't exist, but it's important to note that the work that our industry and farmers do together allows each other to thrive, not only now, but in the future in agriculture. The work at this facility especially focuses on the needs of Midwest soybean growers. So maturity groups 2 and 3 are essential for Midwest production, and the traits developed here will focus on the needs of Midwest growers. They've got needs for varieties that resist nematodes and insects and disease, and have the necessary in-season herbicide-tolerant traits as well, so growers can manage their weeds. So we know that farmers are tremendous managers. Our job at Bayer is to supply them with the innovative tools they need to maximize their production and their profit. Bayer is supporting growers around the world through its investment in innovation, and you'll hear that a lot from Bayer: innovation, investment in innovation. For my family to continue to be successful raising soybeans, we need that investment in innovation, and they also need the help of someone they've never met before, and that's a soybean breeder. So really, again, thank you for being here today with us to celebrate the opening of this new breeding station. And I'd like to welcome a soybean breeder, Lloyd McCall, our North American soybean breeding manager. Thanks, Lloyd.
Well, I thought there for a second I might have to challenge Mark when he said that if it weren't for soybean breeders, we wouldn't be growing any soybean, because I'm a little passionate about being a breeder and what we do bring to the market, but I agree with everything that you said. Thank you very much for the introduction. So it's a beautiful day today, isn't it? I mean, it's a gorgeous day, and it's also a great day to be here opening this facility. We're very thrilled with what we have here in front of us and with the opportunity we have to actually work in facilities like this. So, it's a great time. Sorry, I'm not really good with these microphones. It's a great time to be an ag scientist. It really and truly is, and it's also a great time to be part of Bayer as a researcher. We've seen many, many different changes over the years, and all of them have been positive, and this is just another one of those positives that we're walking into. So we're really excited from the Bayer perspective about continuing our commitment to invest in this area and to serving our citizens both across the state and across the country. So we're committed to soybeans, and we're committed to the Midwest. It's important for us to continue expanding our seeds business through our research and development efforts. And this state-of-the-art soybean research facility will allow us to increase our accessibility of high-quality, locally adapted soybean varieties. And in other words, we're raising the bar for yield opportunity for our growers. What we do here in Illinois will truly leave behind a better world by providing immense agricultural benefits to farmers. This new station will conduct research and development to identify, develop, and test new varieties using the most modern breeding methods. We're pushing the limits of yield potential for growers in the Midwest. At Bayer, we produce world-class science that delivers innovative solutions for our customers and our growers. And investing in facilities like this, it's very important to help us accomplish that. And as Brent was talking, it's not just about the genetics, it's about the entire package for everything we have from Bayer. So we want the genetics to come, but we also have many other solutions that we can combine together with the genetics to bring to our growers to help make them successful. The expansion that we're in right here is one of 3 soybean breeding stations that will open in 2017, and it's also part of a 3-year, $1 billion commitment from Bayer to invest in new facilities. So our breeding efforts here will develop maturity groups 2 and 3 credenza seed, covering production areas in the eastern part of the Corn Belt. The facility we're in right now is part of a 4-building, 28,000 square foot facility, and it gives us enough space to accommodate our large-scale breeding program that's going to help develop these top-performing varieties for the market. This station represents our commitment to not only developing high-quality, high-yielding products, but also to growers and to the future of agriculture. We annually renew that commitment by devoting about 1 billion euros for global research and development operations per year. Expanding our presence here in Central Illinois supports the livelihood and profitability of growers who depend on our products and services. While the breeding center will sustain the #1 industry in Illinois, it will also benefit the #1 resource, the grower, who is our customer. Thank you for taking the time to come to visit with us today. We hope that you enjoyed the tours of our facilities and that you're as thrilled with this nice facility as we are. We're now going to move on to the ribbon cutting ceremony, and I'm going to turn that back over to Tim Preston. Tim?
Thank you, Lloyd, and the other speakers for the great comments. So we'll be moving on to the ribbon cutting. We'll be doing the ribbon cutting in the back by the 2 credenza signs. So if the speakers can meet in the back and other individuals that play a key role for this building project could meet in the back for this picture opportunity, that would be great. Following the ribbon cutting, we'll be doing tours for individuals that are interested, and we'll be breaking into 2 tour groups. The tour leaders are currently in the back, Keith Rinker and Nathan Karplis. So after we do our photo op, if you want a tour, congregate around one of those 2. For the tours, we will be visiting our shop where we have all of our breeding equipment. We'll be taking also a tour of the processing building, and following those 2 tours, we will be taking the bus in 2 separate groups over to our other end of our site, to the trait development building. Once you've toured the trait development building, due to stewardship concerns, we don't want you coming back into these breeding buildings. So before you go over there, definitely try and take some time to eat some of the food that we have available and drink. We'll also have some beverages over there too, but there will be no food. So, and with that, thank you very much.